Hey everyone, we're live. Real Estate Hacking Live. We actually have a little quick 10 minutes before our first guest today. Had to push things back because I just got back from eviction court, part of property management. So I figured we'd jab on that for a few minutes before our first guest. So Jamie does virtually all the property management, both long-term and short-term rentals. So Jamie, do you want to talk a little bit about the kind of history of this case?
Yeah.
And this is our first issue. Like, it's not even a COVID related issue. It was just, it just kind of happened. So anyway.
Yeah. But luckily the good news is we won. So yay.
Yeah. I got a few comments on that, but quick background.
Well, the background is simply, it seemed like a husband and wife kind of dispute. I don't know, but the lady, she was the main tenant. She was on the lease, and then she just left. She told me, she texted me, and this is all in Spanish. So obviously, I mean, I speak Spanish, I understand it, but I had to get my mom involved in this to translate my response. But she just said, hey, I left. My husband, or my ex-husband, is going to pay the rent or whatever. And I'm like, well, no, it doesn't work that way. We have to get him like on the application. He needs to send in an application, driver's license, everything. And we have to see, proof of funds, like history. And
we had to do a full check on him.
Like, yeah, background check.
Adding him to the lease, right?
Oh, they're just going to be making payments. And she just left. I mean, she left. So basically we had her ex-husband and unfortunately her kids. It seems like she left her kids there too, with her ex-husband. She's like, well, my kids are on the lease and they're minors. So I'm like, no, I'm sorry. It really doesn't work that way. We have to get him on the lease and we have to approve it. Long story short, she just left. She said, well, he's there. There's nothing you can do about it. And I can't find a job. I can't pay rent because of COVID. And you can't evict me because of COVID. That's kind of how she left it. And yeah, that was unfortunate. And so basically we had our husband there, her ex-husband, just basically squatting there. He's there illegally. And
there was a little back and forth too, where it was like,
right.
Oh, we want to add him. Oh, I'm going to stay there. No, I'm not staying there. No, he's just going to take it over. It was just very
shady. I mean, something was going on. I don't know what it was, but I'm like, this isn't going to end well. I know we're going to end up evicting these people. And that's exactly what happened because they didn't pay rent and we don't wait. I mean, we give a 3-day notice and they're out. I mean, that's what you have to learn as a landlord. You can't, I mean, this is a business. You have to know that it's a business. It's nothing personal.
And that's what I experienced. So part of me almost wishes I became a lawyer, but I'm also really glad I didn't. But I was fascinated by it. And especially like bad landlords are the best way you get real estate deals. Like, because a lot of people are bad landlords. They're just really bad landlords, usually because they're accidental landlords. But in any case, so every time I've gone to eviction hearing and you hear these cases, that the ones that go before you, it's just fascinating. On like one of them, it's commercial. It's a commercial property, and like there is a written lease, but the rent had changed over time, and there's no written lease, no amendment for the higher amount. And on top of that, the person that they were evicting was the DBA. It wasn't even the actual owner of the business. So it was just very, very fascinating to see the person, like the plaintiff, the owner, give the case. But at the end of the actual hearing, he ruled in her favor, but he basically said, like, there's nothing you can do because, like, what's the constable going to go out there and evict this DBA? Like, that person doesn't exist. Like, there's no owner. So she clearly didn't know what she was doing. And then there was another case. So essentially, she's going to end up having to, unless she can't work it out with the tenant, she's going to have to refile and do it properly or hire an attorney. And then there was this other person where there was no written lease. And he was like, this is not a rental property. It was an investment property, blah, blah, blah. And she's back like 6 months in rent.
6 months. Wow.
Yeah, 6 months. And he was like, so this is not a rental property? Then how do you know that she owes rent? And he was like, well, she agreed to pay $800 a month or whatever. So I'm like, it is a rental property then. And then there's, on top of that, there's no rent and lease. And he had like all these grievances, and he was like, no, I don't care about any of that stuff. Like, you don't have a lease. There is no grievances. Like, but we can talk about money.
Mm-hmm.
He ever paid. And
for 6 months. Wow.
Yeah, for 6 months. And but there was no lease, and I don't know, it was just really messy, and it was very painful to I'm sure the judge, to be a JP, you got to have a lot of patience, and thankfully he had a lot of patience, and you can tell he has a little bit of fun with it, and he was sincerely like empathetic towards both parties,
for being oblivious.
Well, I mean, being a good judge, he was, but at the end of the day, he ended up ruling in favor of the plaintiff. But there are a lot of judges out there that if you don't do things the exact way, they'll just throw it out, or they'll postpone it or kick it down the road. So It's just fascinating. Like, when you've got, like, what we've always done is there is a written lease. There's always written extensions or modifications or amendments. There's always everyone's on the lease, all adults. There's always background checks. There's always documentation. So that way, when it comes to this moment,
which
I've got all the dialogue.
But yeah,
well, we have all the records, and it becomes a very cut and dry. So in the last 2 minutes, here's how it works in Texas. When they don't show up, the tenant, which oftentimes they don't, it's very simple. Do you have a written lease? Yes, I do, Your Honor. Here it is. What is the monthly rent amount? It's this. What do they owe? Or what are you claiming? Back month's rent. For which month? This. Done.
Mm-hmm.
Declared. Awarded. And then so at that point, they'll have 5 days to appeal. If they don't appeal, usually they won't. Then they either have to be gone, or you can get a writ of possession. That's where the constable goes out there and actually removes them from the property. So.
Oh, okay. So the constable's not going out today to get them out. We have to get the writ.
No, not going out today. But we'll have to get our junk removal people queued up or whenever that comes out.
I manage all of this, answer phone calls, do all that. But Chris, he's the one that actually goes to the court and means business.
I'm happy to do the dirty work.
Yeah, he always does the dirty work. I'm just
dirty work, but proper. You're actually doing a lot of the more dirty work, because that's the stuff I can't. I will, but I don't like doing so.
I know, and usually, this is so rare. This is probably our second eviction, and I don't know.
This is actually the very first eviction we've ever done for a tenant that we put in.
Oh, okay.
No, we've evicted
the other ones we've had existing tenants when we bought the property.
Yeah.
And then we go through that. Yeah.
And that's largely the case of, we've done a really good job screening, a really good job of taking care of all the back end and doing the stuff properly. And we were actually going to renew this lady's lease up until it spiraled out of control within days. It was just bizarre. But in any case, that's not what we're here for.
We won, so that's the end of the story.
All right, I'm going to cue up the countdown to officially start the show.
Okay. We're live again.
Welcome, Real Estate Hacking Live, where
we discussed or talked to the top industry leaders across the nation's real estate about all things real estate. So today's topic is what should
new realtors do?
Okay.
What should new realtors do to have a successful first year?
Yes. So we are going to be talking to several different realtors today who have that experience.
Absolutely. Both new or newer, and some veterans. And that's who we've got coming up first. We're going to start off with a veteran. You want to introduce him?
Yes. So first we have Ian Flannigan. Hi, Ian.
Hey,
Thanks for
guys.
joining us.
Come on, Ian.
So Ian is a former hairdresser turned real estate agent and investor in Plano, Texas. He is the founder of Flannigan Consulting and a public speaker with an extensive background in investing with creative financing. So welcome.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Great.
Good. And I can never claim to be a professional hairdresser.
Yeah, right?
This is as stylish as we can get, and we can see part of it starting to recede as the years go on.
It's there.
Hey, I'll sport it. So, Ian, good to have you. So you're a veteran. I know you work with a lot of some of the most successful agents, and then you are an agent, you're an investor, and you're very active in the business. Today, and this was sparked by the very last guest we had today, posted this poll, and it was basically most new agents, like first-year agents, like I think it was like 9 months in or whatever, they don't have their first deal. They don't even have their first deal. So, and that's both scary, sad, and especially if those people are really, they're trying to make a living out of it and they're not doing
it's tough
of a hobby. Yeah. So what should new realtors do to have a successful first year?
Well, let's talk about the things we can control, and that's talking to people. So if you're not making the kind of money you want to make and you're just not doing the deal flow, you're just not connecting with enough people. So that's the one thing you can control. Let's say 50 people a day. Let's say you even talk to 20 or 15 of them. If you compound, 10, 15 people every day, week after week after week, you've talked to hundreds of people. So that's the one thing you can control is the amount of people that you talk to. Catching up, building the database, asking them if there's anything that they need in real estate. I mean, the conversation can go on forever, but it's just a touch point.
Yeah. So when you're connecting with those people, when you're building that touch point every single day, say 10 people a day, what's something that there's a couple different approaches you can do. You can do the cold caller approach. Hey, got a house you're trying to sell. Hey, trying to buy a house. Like there's that, very salesy. Or there's more of the prospecting, just warm, like that circle prospect. Or I guess circle prospecting is one way, but there's the value add approach.
Yeah,
which is completely different. That's more of the branding approach. How do you do it, or how are you seeing some of the most successful, like very successful new agents?
I mean, if you think about this, it's what we've all heard in the business. No, it's not about who you know. It's actually more about who knows you. Who thinks of an agent or someone in real estate whenever they come across a distressed house or grandma passed away and they got a $800,000 reverse mortgage, right? That's the kind of deals that I get referred to over the years because I can solve a lot of challenges that families have. But the whole point is talking to people, building the database, reaching out to people. Let's just start from scratch when you're brand new in the business, because I actually coach brand new agents with our company as well. So the first thing I do is just start calling people. I mean, that's what I do. If I want to kick up some deal flow, if I have now I'm into land development and a lot of bigger projects. So, right, I'm reaching out to different people that I know or that are in that niche, asking questions. Hey, do you come across this? Like, right, it's almost like planting seeds. You got to, especially in real estate as a deal practitioner, like you've got to go add value to the marketplace. But when you're first starting out, it's about how many people you talk to. You've got to touch a lot of people, and then people have to start to build trust with you that you can handle somebody's, the sale of their home or something like that, or a referral or whatever the case may be. It's very sensitive when people are moving in and out of state or in and out of homes. So you have to build that confidence, and you build the confidence through social media. So you have an outbound prospecting approach where you're gathering, everyone that put them all into a list. You're calling them saying, hey, Chris, it's Ian. What's going on? Saw your kids just had, great milestone. Hey, by the way, I just wanted to let you know I'm in real estate. I'm really excited. I joined an amazing team. So if you know anyone that needs to buy or sell or need anything from plumbing to electricians to sprinklers to pools, any type of vendor you need, I'd love to be that resource for you. Right. And that kind of takes the pressure off of them. You're not asking them for business, but you're just letting them know. But you got to give them confidence.
Yeah.
Right. You don't call them up and go, oh, I'm brand new. Oh, man, I haven't done a deal yet. Like, hey, send somebody some business, please. right?
Yeah.
That doesn't send any confidence to anybody. So,
Please list your house with me.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or much less remodel it or build a pool or put on a second story. Like, you want to get into what we know we can do with houses. We can pretty much do anything if the numbers make sense. But anyway, that's a value add that you offer to people that you know, right? One of the value adds, since I have been renovating houses forever, is now when I have clients, which I'm very picky about the people that I personally work with, because I only got my real estate license really as a referral business. That was my intention from the beginning. And over time, I'll take on clients myself, and obviously the properties that we renovate, and I always list those. But I try to refer more business than I actually do myself. But you just got to talk to people, Chris. So that's my golden nugget of the day. Talk to people, get a check. Don't talk to people, don't get a check. Build trust, use social media, let them see you in houses talking about real estate. You're touching them, you're sending them messages. You may have added them to your database and maybe getting some emails from you, right? If you have something in common, sports teams, right? I'm a Cowboy fan. I'm sure you're a Texan fan. The day that you guys are playing, you need to be texting that person. Touch points. You're nurturing relationships. And that's part of, as a real estate agent, building that sphere of influence over time. Because if you're 2, 3, 4 years in and you don't have people referring your business, you just did it wrong.
Yeah. There's definitely a problem there.
There's
you made a good point in the touch points too.
There's one way to do it.
And the touch points, like you were talking about sports games, Cowboys game, Astros game, Rangers, whatever.
Yeah,
so that's not salesy.
Have a good time with it.
Yeah, that's not salesy. So Astros win a game, like, hey, did you see that game last night? That, obviously you at this point you should know that they're interested in that, or their kid graduation, or I don't know, whatever's going on. But so that's a linear touch point. But one thing that I know but I want to expand on this, there's the exponential, because you send a text, hey, did you see the draft last night or whatever?
Whatever, yeah.
Now, that's a touch point. Nothing about real estate. They go to work the next day, like, man, I'm really thinking about moving. Dude, you got to call my boy Ian.
Yeah.
Like,
that's how it works.
That guy's a rock star.
That's how it works.
Yeah. That's where things really start to compound, and as you're building that relationship over time. So when you're doing that and you do it every single day.
Yeah, it starts, those numbers start to compound. It's the compound effect. A great book that I've gone through a couple times. It's impossible to implement everything, but just you have to think about your daily routines and the things that you do over and over and over to get the results that you want. First of all, you have to have a big dream, a big idea, a big passion about why you're doing what you're doing, so you can do it with enthusiasm, right? And that's the thing, is real estate entrepreneurs, most people that become a real estate agent, they're not entrepreneur. They're leaving another career. Real estate is sexy, but when you really get into it, the negotiating, the back and forth, the things that people do in contracts, Chris, this, y'all were just talking about it, just the emotional side of the business. For me, there's zero emotions. It's just business.
It can get messy.
It can get messy. So to get results fast, increase the amount of people that you talk to. That's the only thing you can control. You can't control how many inbound reach outs you get, right? You can do marketing, and I don't recommend getting into pay-per-click and all that in the beginning. That's something that you scale into. You have to build the foundation first, get referral business, then you start adding in repeat clients, right? That's how you double your business each year. You're dripping on those repeat clients. You're putting in better systems to drip on those folks. And you start adding some team members. Then that year 2, year 3, which, Chris, if you want to, right, you have to figure out what direction in real estate are you going to go. Like I did the high volume game for years and years and years, right? As a principal operator, owner of these properties, multiple markets, and then making a shift over the last 5 years. Right now, I'm more of a passive investor in real estate assets, not necessarily the transactional. Mm-hmm. So, right, I've built my business to where now I have a team of agents that when they're closing deals, I'm getting paid like a broker. So you just find different ways over time to kind of fit your lifestyle and your needs. And that's what you learn about real estate, is you can really design your business around your life. However that looks, if you get that intentional with it. But in the beginning, right, just putting a check in the bank, talk to people. That's it. That's what you can control.
Love it. Love it. Thanks, Ian. You're a wealth of knowledge. Man. Love working with you and having you on.
All right, guys. Y'all have a great day.
Thanks so much.
You too. See you again soon.
All right. Awesome. Great words from Ian Flannigan. All right. Next, we have Erik Kelly. Hi, Erik.
Good morning. Good morning.
Come on, Erik.
Thank you for joining us.
My
Okay, a little
pleasure.
bit about Erik. What's wrong with my camera? I'm out of the. Okay. Erik grew up around real estate investing and now leads a high performance team in Phoenix, Arizona. Erik's passion is inspiring others to create a legacy, vision, and action plan to live a meaningful life. Great. So welcome.
Thank you very much. Excited to be here.
You too. So Erik, we got connected on a panel of some of the top realtors in the nation, and you were actually moderator of the panel, and that was always, it's very exciting whenever I get to sit on those panels. So it's nice connecting with you and other successful agents. So today, and this goes by quick, so we kind of run into it.
All right.
The question of the hour: new realtors.
Yes.
What should they be doing to have a successful first year as a team leader? And then, of course, you're a veteran in the industry. You grew up in the industry. What are you seeing that the successful new agents out there, what are they doing differently than those that maybe get one transaction?
Yeah. Well, I think, Chris, the key is you have to get into action. You have to have disciplined action in your business and things that you're doing literally on a daily basis with consistency. I think the process of real estate, like the evolution of a real estate agent, starts with traction. And getting traction is just getting some deals done, getting a couple deals in escrow. And then you move to momentum. And momentum is when you're consistently maybe putting a couple deals a month in escrow and you've got some flow to your business. And you reach a point where if you have a month with no closings, you're not at risk of being taken out of the business because you have enough consistency at that point and the flow of momentum. And then you get to sustainability. And then ultimately, that's where you get to success in real estate. So I think the traction part, most of that word is made up of the word action. I think that's the key. Like, you got to get moving and you got to get up every single day and get to work.
And the beginning part of that action or that momentum, that movement, is that very, very, very first and second deal. I mean, getting a rocket getting off the ground, I mean, it takes a ton of energy to get it off the ground, but then it gets easier and easier and it goes faster and faster. Same thing with an agent. Like, they do that first lease, the first buyer client listing.
Right.
Like, it's that one, I think it's the confidence that they get. They realize that, one, they can do it. Or two, they do know stuff. They can be of value. And it ends up being like rocket fuel if you get it quickly. Got to get it quickly, though.
Oh, man, absolutely. I agree. And you said the word confidence, and confidence comes from being around it. Confidence comes from conversations. So the more conversations you can be in, the more confident that you're going to become. And especially in the market that we're in right now, in a lot of areas around the United States, Phoenix, for example, is a super competitive market. Our inventory right now is less than 10% of what it was in 2009. So that was, a dozen years ago, we had 60,000 active listings. This is a market that typically closes 100,000 transactions a year. There's like less than 5,000 active listings right now. So this is a skills-based market. It doesn't mean that there's not business out there, but we've got to be in those conversations day after day, and we become the solution strategist for our clients. And we ask the right questions and ask enough questions that we get an understanding of their vision. What do they ultimately want to accomplish? What are they afraid of? What are they concerned about? What's still ambiguous to them in the process? And we just solve those for them.
And with that inventory, because everyone has that problem, no matter what marketplace you're in, you have some degree of that problem. And COVID actually just made that problem worse. Like, it was bad. It was bad before COVID. COVID probably doubled it.
Right. Yeah.
How does, because becoming an agent, you can be your solopreneur, individual agent out there doing it on your own. You can join a team. And you're a team leader.
Yep.
There are pros and cons to both. But for the new agent, especially one looking for mentorship and guidance, because when you take your exam, all that does is keep you out of jail.
Right.
It doesn't teach you anything about street knowledge. What conversations do you have with new agents that are contemplating, should they go with a team or Should they just hook up with a mentor and go solo?
I think it really depends on their level of business acumen, their level of hunger, and how clear they are on their vision of real estate. Almost every single agent that I meet with that has been in the industry for, say, 6 months, I always ask them the question, is it different than you thought it would be before you got into it? And the answer is always yes. And so, for the folks that we work with, whether we're mentoring or they're team members with us, I encourage them to pick one role, one discipline, and kind of go all in on that in the beginning. So, if you're a solopreneur, that might just be having conversations. It might be making your top 100 list of your sphere and just, getting in communication and having 5 or 10 conversations a day just to stay connected. With the agents that come onto our team, they start out as showing partners. So the only thing they're focused on getting good at is the process of showing homes to prospective buyers, the process of communicating with agents. And then over time, we move them into the full spectrum of things that you need to do to be a successful agent, because it's a lot. And so, I think the team is a great way to go for new agents, at least for a year, just to learn and take the pressure off and get some deal flow happening.
Yeah, and a team, it can mean a lot of different things. I mean, you've got your mega teams, and I'm not sure exactly what your team size is, but you can have your teams of 5, 7, 10 agents, and they're doing 50, 100 million plus a year. And then you have your smaller, more intimate teams that maybe it's one successful veteran agent and they've got a couple agents on the team. They just work very closely together. But regardless, there's still a lot of value, because ultimately what you're doing, it's like if you want to start and scale a $1 billion business, do you do that on your own? Maybe you can. Or do you want to go work for Jeff Bezos for a little while?
Right.
Or Elon Musk? I don't know if that directly translates here, but there's still value in attaching yourself to success and then making decisions on year 2, 3, 4, whatever.
Well, there's the expression success leaves clues. And what that means is there's models and systems and strategies around success, and there's a pattern, and there's a roadmap for us to follow. And I think one of the biggest hindrances to productivity in any of our lives is fragmented focus, especially in the day and age that we live in now, where there's constant notifications and distraction. And for the first time in human history, the average person in the United States is exposed to more information than the brain has the ability to process effectively on a daily basis.
7 seconds. That's all you got. You got 7 seconds.
So we need to focus on developing, some very specific skill sets, I believe, and keep that focus narrow, master that, build momentum in that, and then kind of expand. And this is such a social business, but it's also one of the loneliest professions on earth, because a lot of the work that you do to learn and to research and to be informed about the market and to up your skill set as an agent and a communicator, that's all done on your own. And so I think the connection with our community and the people around us, the people we're learning from and growing with, is critically important.
Is there any tactical suggestions you have on a prospecting or even marketing standpoint that you have? So say that the agents, they've got the momentum now. Maybe they're in year like month 9, 12, 18, and now they're really starting to spread their wings, whether it's on the team or individually. Is there anything tactically that you found that maybe 102, 103 level agent start to really gain some faster momentum?
Well, I think, I think perception's reality. So we all have the ability to leverage social media as a form of connection. And I think what we want to balance there is kind of personal character or likability or just the interestingness of life as a human being. Like, I'm out hiking today, I'm at the lake, I'm doing this, those type of connection points that we all relate to like we would in a friendship. And then we have to convey professional competency and, the ability to showcase houses across a brokerage where you can advertise anything across your entire state is amazing. I think the video walkthroughs are really cool. That's actually something that you mentioned, the panels. I wrote that down a few weeks ago on a panel, And I was out with clients and walked through these houses, and I got more engagement and interaction and inquiries and
It's
and
crazy,
stuff.
right?
Yeah, just touring the house, not even really the commentary. It wasn't a polished video. It was just walking through this beautiful model home. And so I think everybody can do things like that are engaging. The other thing I would say is stories sell. A monkey could sell a house right now in 3 days with multiple offers over list price in almost any market across the United States. So that doesn't really play in the consumer's mind. I think we have to learn to speak consumer, not realtor. And what relates to consumers is hearing people's stories. Like, this is the journey this couple went on to buy their first home. These are my friends, blah, 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 that I've known for years that were able to just buy their dream home. Like, that type of stuff is what's most relatable. So I think communicating that. Yeah,
and kind of like the last 30 seconds, this like ridiculously hot market from a listing agent standpoint, at least, it's probably going to make a lot of agents lazy, and they'll forget the fundamentals. Right. The fundamentals that over time are going to, like, if you're a brand new agent and you just happen to have some influence and you can get off the ground quickly, like if you're not still paying attention to the fundamentals, when that subsides, who knows when, like, you might find life a little harder. But those that actually focus on the fundamentals, and Ricky Carruth was talking about this last month, like when you focus on the fundamentals and you do this day in, day out, like, you're looking, when this inventory, like, we get more inventory down the line, whenever that is, like, you're looking at a windfall for your business. Like, oh, absolutely. Yeah. And we're not shortcutting now. We're still doing staging consultations. We're making sure the home's professionally clean. We're doing, full spectrum of photography. We're not doing iPhone photos. We all see those listings, right? To your point, not only fundamentally, that pains me, shortcutting the process, but we're still doing all those things because it's about the relationship and it's about the value you create in the relationship and the experience for our clients. And there's no shortcut to that. Yeah, that pains me. The iPhone photos, or the ones I see somewhere, like, there's actually someone in the image too, right? But or the finger and part of the picture. Oh god. Yeah, I don't know where the self-awareness drops off there. So, all right. Hey, thanks so much, Erik. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Erik.
My pleasure. Great to be with you guys today. Thanks so much. You too.
All right. So next we have Mallory Tidwell. Hi, Mallory.
Hey, Mallory. We're gonna bring you on a little earlier. Is that okay?
I'm here.
All right. I'm so glad we got you on. I've been following you on Facebook. You've been doing a lot of transactions, it seems. So awesome. Good to have you. So a little bit about Mallory. Mallory is a wife, mom, and realtor in the Walton Beach, Florida area. She's enjoying coastal living and real estate on the Florida Panhandle. I mean, it always looks so awesome over there. The pictures you post, especially when you take your kids to the beach and it's white, sandy beaches compared to what we have here. Awesome. Thanks for joining us.
Sure, thanks. Good to get on to say hi.
Yeah, I know we get really jealous of that because, one, the nearest beach for several hundred miles looks nothing like that, especially Galveston. And two, we've been there, so we actually know personally how nice the Destin, Orange Beach, Pensacola, it's so nice. So we did a podcast. It was about almost 9 months ago. You were just licensed, and I think you were 3 months in.
Yes.
And you got some really quick success. So that's why I wanted to have you back, because I've seen you've done more since then, obviously, and you have fun doing it, living life, selling houses. What has been something that you have noticed as a new agent going through this first year that's helped you get that quick success?
So I like talking with people. That kind of comes natural. Anybody, anywhere, with my kids, always just being cordial, saying hi, interacting, getting to know people. And that can kind of help spring into, not promoting yourself immediately by any stretch, because that just seems weird, but you're just being out there and you're engaging, and people start to get to know you, and that builds it up. well as just marketing well on Facebook has been really good among people that I know that know someone or that they themselves are needing some real estate help. So those two things, I think, just being chatty. People like to talk. So they don't mind it at all. And it's fun to get to know people at the same time. So
Yeah, and you come with sincerity. So and this has been a theme, like the past several guys. It's all communication. It's all talking with people because people buy houses. Like even if it's a company and you're dealing with like an investors or whatever, those companies are run by people. And if you talk with them, learn their needs, but also if you come across with sincerity and you generally care about it, or just talking about life, like, hey, did y'all go to the beach today? Like the weather was amazing.
Folks, and eventually they have a need that you can meet, and it's fun to just chat with them, or they get excited to talk about beach life. And like, oh yeah, we're thinking about buying a condo, or we would love to move there, or that's facilitated a few transactions as well. And then they later on Facebook and their family sitting out on the beach that you saw. That's very gratifying.
So on Facebook, have you noticed anything in particular, or any type of messaging or type of engagement that's doing? I mean, maybe it's just the random posts on the beach, or is it been like video walkthroughs, or just maybe you're talking about like this gorgeous like kitchen or view? Is there anything in particular that you've noticed really help with engagement?
I do a combination. I had several that just encouraged me to just post like, cool shower. I was doing some properties in Santa Rosa that was just absolutely beautiful, and did a video of a really neat shower over there, letting people kind of see the inside of places. I do live videos, and I do final walks or just tours, and those are cool. I mean, everyone likes to see a house. Like even if I'm in a house, I like to see the inside of a house. It's kind of cool. So I've done those, and then always sharing like when I put something under contract, when it's sold, so that people can see you're active. Like they want to know that you're busy and that you're doing this pretty frequently, where you're able to keep up and be aware of what to do and what not to do in the real estate rules and world and all. So staying active, letting people see that you really enjoy it and that you're happy to help. And it's been good. I think I did 12 in the first year. So it was, it will grow and build, but I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the support and help from all of y'all, and EXP's been fabulous. So.
Now, I've been excited to watch it. So you said 12 in the first year, and the last guest we have on today, she posted it was some type of study or whatever that most agents right now who have had their license for 12 months, like they don't have their first deal, or maybe it was like 9 months or something like that. You've got 12. And that's a testament to your action. I mean, everyone can accidentally get a few just because of your sphere of influence, but eventually you run out of friends, family, church, like group and high school friends. Eventually you have to actually do the work, and you've done that. And that's been 12.
It's good. I feel like there's so much more to attain. I'm like,
oh no, there totally is. Like next year, well, what are you looking for next year?
Oh, double. Easily double.
Double. All right.
Yeah. But I'm
double.
Also, as part of my bio, I'm a mom to two very young kids. I'm their main everything. Of course, daddy is too, but, and that's good. But they're in preschool for the mornings, and the afternoons I'm with them. And that's where I'm funneling my love is to my babies. But easily, something I can involve at the same time. And my kids even go do some real estate stuff with me. So it's a bit of a family affair, but my daughter goes into kindergarten this fall. It'll free up a little. Full-time school is a little more part of our lives. But
that's exciting. I know Jamie remembers like when we like when our kids were preschool, like they'd go to the flips with us. Now if it was under construction, we had to like rein them in, but when it was like staged, like. And they would remember the neighborhoods, like, is this the flip house? Or it was really preschool. It was like, how do they remember that? But they loved it. So your kids are going to remember those times faintly, but they'll remember it when they're older. It's like running around with mom on, these open house tours or whatever. And Do you take pictures? So we got like 30 seconds. Do you like take pictures or whatever? Do any videos with them?
I will do so with him. My little boy's 3, so he isn't as involved. He's just wild. But my 5-year-old daughter, she can do what she needs to do well. So she can hang a little bit more. So she might be a little more noticed in content over brother at the moment. He's usually not. He's not as involved, but his
All right. Yeah, let them sell some houses for you.
Marketers.
Yes. Thank you so much, Mallory. I'm just very excited about everything you've done, and look forward to seeing you progress even further and double your business next year.
Chris and Jamie, appreciate the support. Y'all
Thank you. Take care.
Oh, muted. Bye. Thank you.
Jamie.
Okay, so we're having technical difficulties with Wally. He's trying to get on through his phone. So we will just move right along with Katie. So next we have, Katie Day. Hi, Katie.
How's it going?
Good. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be
here. Yeah. Okay, a little bit about Katie. So Katie is a veteran realtor and leader of the Move Me to Texas team, which is located in Houston, Texas. So welcome.
Thank you.
How you doing, Katie?
I'm well. It's like Monday morning, but it's Tuesday, so just getting through the day.
Yeah. I mean, I know you said Tuesdays you're kind of busy anyway, and then this one's got to be really busy being the first day of the week too. I love Move Me to Texas. I love that brand. And you've been, it seems like you're pretty aggressive on the social sphere and branding. So that's why I was excited to connect with you with a mutual friend and have a conversation. So welcome.
Thank you.
The topic of the hour: what should new realtors be doing to have a successful first year? You posted something, forget exactly what it is. You probably remember it was like, I don't know, 9 months in out of having their first, getting their license. They have not done a deal yet.
So what it was that I guess so far this year, 40% of real estate agents across the country have not yet sold a house. Okay. So like not even new agents, just like agents in general. Haven't sold a home this year. And I ran the numbers for Houston. It's actually a little bit higher in Houston that haven't sold a house so far this year, in what's arguably one of the busiest, real estate, economies we've seen in a while. So yeah, kind of interesting. But yeah, as far as new agents go, that's the topic for right now.
And I'm specifically this conversation, but I'm sure that correlates very well because unfortunately the attrition rate for new agents, it's not great. And and you take that plus with Houston where you have like 1 month or less of inventory, like 57% or whatever, of this time last year, less inventory. It's tough. So, but homes are being sold. They're being sold quickly. Leases are happening, and you can be successful. Like our previous two guests, our previous guest, and then the one following. They're new agents, and they're being successful. Yeah. What are you seeing that new agents are doing to be successful in this market?
I think the biggest thing is getting in front of as many people as possible, right? So there's a lot of different ways in which you can do that. And I think new agents or agents that are moving to new markets, like get so caught up in like, what do I need to do to get as many leads as possible, right? And they focus on buying leads or signing up for different programs or doing like social media ads or whatever. And like all that's kind of behind the scenes stuff, right? Eventually you may talk to someone on the phone. Eventually you may, get in front of them, but like getting in front of as many people as possible. So I always like free, right? So doing open houses, now that things are starting to open back up or are open basically in Texas, right? Like getting out to events or to different things where you're going to meet people, and real estate's going to come up and those conversations are going to come up. And the more people you're able to meet, honestly, like the business will come. And I think that's really difficult, right? It's like people do an open house once or they'll go to one networking event or whatever it may be. And like, they won't pick up a buyer or any business from that event or from that open house. They're like, oh, this doesn't work. I'm never going to do it again. But it's like, you need to do an open house when you're a new agent every single weekend, at least one, and just relentlessly follow up with all of those people, right? So the open house leads, calling them, texting them, providing value. And then like, as you meet people at events and things like that, like if you have a connection, like see if they want to grab coffee, see if they want to go to lunch, and like see what you can do to help their business, and business will come for you. So I think, real estate's such a people business. And, now that we're in, a more open world, like getting in front of as many people as possible, I think is key.
And so that's the in-person, but you do that also socially. You're pretty active both in, it seems like virtual events or conversations or podcasts, and also just general content about your business. What are some effective ways new agents can do that? Because they may not necessarily have the expertise to talk about or the inventory to personally show, but what can they do?
Yeah, I mean, I think digitally, a lot of people run into that, right? They have that like analysis paralysis of like, oh, well, I don't have any listings. I don't have anything going on. So what should I do? And I think that like the knowledge that you have as a real estate professional is still more than most of the general population, right? So like, I think documenting kind of your journey and the process is super important. You can go out and preview homes and talk about those homes, right? Hey, do you like this kitchen or that kitchen better? Check out these properties I saw today, whatever it may be. And then depending on what brokerage you're at, you normally can post your brokerage's listings. So you can at least, again, show, a newly listed home from your brokerage. But I think, again, like documenting the journey and like, as you learn about different things, like telling people about it is content, right? And it may not seem that interesting, but like I've posted things before of things that I think are super mundane about real estate. And I normally get at least 1 or 2 DMs that are like, oh man, I didn't know that. Or, oh, I didn't know you didn't have to put down 20%. I actually have enough money to buy a house, I think. Things like that like we in real estate think that everyone understands and everyone knows, but like not everyone understands and knows it. So even if you think it's boring.
Yeah, this show, we put so much more energy in, and there's so much value just talking with veteran agents like you. Like, there's so much value. But what gets more traction on our YouTube channel are iPhone walkthroughs of open houses at model homes. Like, and it blew my mind. I was like, hey, there's a new neighborhood right by where we live that's being developed. And I'm like, hey, I'll see what happens. And I brought my nice camera and all that, which I didn't bring the right tripod. So I was like, okay, I'll just use my iPhone. Boom. Like within 30 days, it's in the top 3 videos watched on my entire channel. I'm like, what is going on? Because you can't be the judge of what's value. It's ultimately them. They judge the value, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Do you, we got like 2 minutes left. Do you do any type of content, not necessarily on real estate specific, but just more community specific? Restaurants, I don't know, new, I guess movie theaters. Is that a thing of the past now?
Movie theaters still exist, I think. Someone told me the other day they were going to a movie. So I think that still exists. But yeah, so we do community spotlights of different bars, restaurants, and businesses in our area. So we will do interviews with business owners, talking about, their story, how they came up with the name of their, establishment, kind of what they're known for and stuff like that. And we post those on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube as well. Just to kind of highlight, because like everyone always wants to know when they're moving into a neighborhood, like what's there to do, what's there to eat, where do I go drink, things like that. So we just try to highlight, like the different hot spots, in the different neighborhoods throughout Houston.
And so that right there is something that any new agent can do because they live somewhere.
Yeah, they
know
normally.
where they live, and unless they just went through, moved me to Texas, they know their community, so they can talk about the local coffee shop or nail salon or donut shop or whatever. They can talk about all those things. I remember when I was putting up a buyer's guide, and I had all the little shops. And I was like, hey, Jamie, is this something that you would want to know where everything's close? And it was like, it was the Ulta. I forget. There was a few of them. She goes, yep, that's exactly what I would want to know if I'm where I'm moving, like how far those are. So anyone can do that.
Yeah, for sure. And it's just adding value and, throwing that information out there. And, I think that it's a lot of new agents will post all the time. Like, I'm a real estate agent. I can help you. I'm a real estate agent. And like, if you come from the place of value and trying to add, value and coming from a place of contribution, the business will come. It's just not always, as immediate as everyone would want, but it definitely does come.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Look forward to maybe connecting with you in person at some of these events now that they're rolling back. But otherwise, it's great meeting you.
That's awesome. I love the move to Texas #branding. That's genius. And I just followed you on Instagram too. I was like, wow, this is good stuff. So thank you so much for joining us.
We connected with her through Kat.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Thanks for joining us, Katie.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Take care.
Okay. Let's see if okay. I see Wally, but I don't see a space. So let's see if it'll work. He said he was having.
Yeah, we'll see if we get connected. Because Wally's been, he was the other new agent that we've had, but he's had tremendous success. I was hoping we'd be able to talk to him. May have to do that.
Yeah,
another time.
His service is kind of poor. He's been kind of in and out and trying to hop on, and then it freezes up, and now I can tell it's like not loading. He's trying from his phone.
Okay.
We've been texting back and forth, but
all right, we'll kind of
I don't know if it's working.
All right.
Hey, Wally.
All right. That's okay. We'll get Wally on. Probably should do, because Wally just he is a new agent, and he just capped, and he's done a tremendous amount of transactions, and he's got a lot in the hike too. And then on top of that, like he's doing this stuff part time, and then he ended up buying. I think he already closed on it. It's like a fourplex. So he's got this investment project that he's going to do as a buy and hold, and he's doing a lot of things in an environment that everyone's saying is
competitive.
Competitive, not enough deals. So I always like to see that, because there are, when you get out there and take action.
You gotta hustle. I mean, we know that. I mean, so many times where we were like, there's no deals, like when our acquisition agents and you got out there, I got on Facebook looking around, and you just find them. If you're hungry enough, you'll find those deals and just get after them. And that's what we've learned, and that's what many investors will learn in Houston.
Yep. So I think the keys really for today are communication, taking action, engaging with folks. And you can do all this both in person and virtually. And then even if you know nothing about real estate, because you just got licensed, and like other than laws, you don't know anything else, you can always talk about your community. You can always do virtual walkthroughs with your phone, like not virtual, like you're doing like video recording walkthroughs.
Right.
Anyone can do that.
Yeah. I mean, I still can't believe how many, views we got from, YouTube whenever you took that video. And I said, babe, this video is horrible. And it's like the most viewed video. So.
Yeah. Looking at it right now, it's actually.
Content.
Yeah, right now it's number 3, but it got usurped. So one of them jumped it. And then we still got one top-ranking video, but it kind of goes back and forth. I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah, just content and being consistent with that will get you those deals. So
love it. So we'll see you back next month, first Tuesday. I'm not sure. What is that? That's July 6th. So July 6th, we'll be back here at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. You can go to investedagents.com/REHacking. Get subscribed. That way you'll get the updates for not just this event, but other events that we have going on. A lot of them are virtual these days. We will be doing some in-person stuff in the Houston area. And then got a lot of free training, tips, education. Subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram. On Facebook.
Yes, Instagram. Our Instagram handle is @InvestedAgents. So pretty simple. Follow us there. And thank you for joining. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.